So, if you're a Sonic fan like I am, you know for a fact that we had a dry spell of news about the games for the longest period of time. We did get some games between, Forces and Mania till now, but those are all side games. We never got any real mainline games. We never got anything that was part of the main canon. So imagine my surprise that the second it turned to the 30th anniversary, we've just been getting news left, right, and center. Today I want to just pick out a few points of those news, discuss them, and talk about why those pieces of news suggest that we are moving into a new era of Sonic the Hedgehog. Now, there's a couple things I just want to clear up. One, I'm gonna do my best to not talk about leaks or rumors because I don't like talking about that kind of stuff, having super clickbaity thumbnails and all that with just this news that 99.999% of the time isn't true. I'd rather talk about official news that we know is confirmed because that gives my videos more credibility and gives my words more agency. Second thing is that this is the rant style video, so yeah, it's unscripted. I don't have a full script on this, so I'm just gonna be talking for hopefully not too long. I'm gonna try and keep it short. And with that said, let's jump onto the first piece of news, which is that Roger Craig Smith, the voice actor of Sonic the Hedgehog since 2010, is stepping down. Roger as a voice actor has had the community split for the longest time. There's some people who genuinely enjoyed his version of Sonic, his take of Sonic, and the way he delivered his lines. And then there are people who just couldn't stand him, thought that he was a misrepresentation of everything Sonic stood for and a far cry of what the character once was. I'm in the middle. I didn't like his representation of Sonic, and I didn't like the character that Sonic had become since 2010's Sonic Colors, but I did think that he had potential, and this potential was being actualized with Sonic Boom. Sonic Boom, he was a great Sonic. The design and the character and the lines were written around Roger's delivery. But with modern Sonic, the mainline game Sonic, that never happened. In fact, the design of Sonic was actually regressed. I don't know if you noticed, but Sonic's spikes became shorter and his fur became lighter shades of blue. Was that just me? Am I seeing things? I can swear between Forces and Unleashed there's a huge change in models here. But yeah, unlike the other two voice actors, that being Jason Griffith and Ryan Drummond, Roger Craig Smith never had a Sonic that was changed to suit his delivery of his lines. Now, like I said, I think he has the potential to be a good Sonic, but the games never gave him a chance to be a good Sonic, and I think that's mainly because of the writing. And I think everybody's had their issues with the writing recently. In 2010, people actually liked the writing in Sonic Colors. People actually looked at that and went, yeah, this style suits Sonic better.
Baldy nose hair!
And I think as the years went by now, they're starting to realize that, yeah, maybe it doesn't suit Sonic better. And I think the main reason why people actually liked Colors and then as the years went on grew to dislike the writing more and more and realized that Colors actually had bad writing was because back then it was a breath of fresh air. There's a lot of people who didn't like the darker tone that Sonic was going for, the more shonen style tone that series was taking, from Adventure through to Black Knight. And so, the writing being changed this much and it taking a lighter tone away from all this doom and gloom and just going for straight Sonic versus Eggman the whole time, people liked that. And I think that's what contributed to the success and why these writers stayed on past Colors, because honestly, I don't think these writers should have stayed on past Colors. I think Colors was more than enough proof and Sega should have realized, wow, these writers suck. And some people can argue that the writers are hindered by Sega mandates, the list of rules that Sega have come up with that Sonic Team must abide by for specific franchises, such as the Sonic franchise. And, those rules can limit the writing or possible character development. It's why Shadow the Hedgehog's just been such an edgelord over the last 10 years instead of having a proper character like he did from Adventure 2 through to 06. But to that I say, you can still put out some good writing, even with all these mandates in place. The IDW comics are proof of that. The IDW comics don't have perfect writing, and they still messed up Shadow's character there, but then again, the mandates, they couldn't really do much to work around that. But the writing in the comics is 100 times better than the writing we've gotten in the games, thousands of times. In fact, the writer of the comics, Ian Flynn, well, not the writer of the current arc, but the writer from issue 1 through to issue 32, he actually stated that he would like to write a Sonic game, and I'm thinking, why don't you let that happen? You have someone here who knows all the Sonic characters, who's been writing the comics for God knows how long now, just let him do it. You know, that would actually work out very well. But it looks like some dreams may actually come true, because a second piece of news is that the writers, Pontac and Graf, or Graf, I don't care how you pronounce it, I don't care, I'm just going to call them dumb and useless from now on, they're not writing the stories anymore for Sonic the Hedgehog. This news comes from a podcast that they were part of. I think it was only Pontac that was part of, and you know, he was talking about Sonic in the past tense and saying, yeah, it was a good ride, yeah, it was fun, yeah, they got to go to Japan and eat food and stuff, you know, all good, whatever. But they're not writing for Sonic games anymore, and I've never been more ecstatic. I think I actually got banned from the Sonic Discord for spamming too much when that message, when that news came through, just because I was so excited. Because, you know, now there's finally potential for Sonic as a character. There's finally potential for good writing, you know, and with this good writing mixed in with the good gameplay that I'm very sure we're gonna get. I'm very sure we're gonna get the good gameplay here, because of, you know, all of Sega's news last year about how they're delaying the next game and delaying the announcements and stuff in order to polish the game so that it's the best they can possibly put out. You know, all this stuff mixing together just gives me good signs. And it seems as though Sonic Team's taking a darker tone with Sonic again. Well, not super dark, but more of that shonen-esque tone that they had with Adventure Through the Black Knight, which I think is perfect. I'm going to do a full video about this some other time, but Black Knight had my favorite writing in terms of characterization for Sonic. You know, in that game, Sonic actually felt like a character with morals, but, you know, you could also argue that Sonic was the bad guy, because, you know, technically he's stopping a world from living forever by just simply sticking to his own ideals and morals. But the line he utters about doing what he has to do no matter what, you know, stuff like that really sticks with you. That kind of writing sticks with you, and it sucks that we haven't had writing like that at all since then, because, you know, Sega has to appeal to all the kiddie winks. And I'm telling this now, if any Sega employee does end up watching this, most of the Sonic fan base is not children. You know, no matter how popular and successful the movie was, no matter how many children watched it, I still think that a majority of that Sonic fan base is part of an older crowd, you know, from maybe aged 15 or onwards. Because realistically, they haven't really done much over the last 10 years to pull in new fans. You know, everything they've done has been so nostalgia pandering in order to pull in older fans, and with that, it felt like they were alienating new fans from coming into the series, because, you know, everywhere you look, there was classic Sonic, Green Hill, Chemical Plant, and I'm going to end up doing another video about nostalgia pandering and why I think it actually hurt the series more than helped it. So yeah, Roger stepping down and Dumb and Useless no longer writing the stories, all good signs. But then we got a big announcement. Now, over the last month or so, we know for a fact that we were getting a Netflix exclusive TV show, but we didn't know, you know, what was the name, what was it about. All we knew was that we were getting one. And then we got slapped in the face with another piece of news, giving the official logo and title reveal for Sonic Prime. And with Sonic Prime, it looks like they want to go for a more character-focused story, something that focuses more on Sonic himself, which is perfect. In fact, if you read the official announcement about Sonic Prime, it reads, "The 24-episode animated adventure for kids, families, and longtime fans draws upon the keystones of the brand and features of the blue blur of video game fame in high-octane adventure, where the fate of the strange new multiverse rests in his gloved hands. Sonic's adventure is about more than a race to save the universe. It's a journey of self-discovery and redemption." So what we have here is something that is going to be on a much larger scale than, you know, most things we've gotten in the franchise, possibly outside of the Archie comics, because, you know, that went multiversal and universal scale quite a bit. But what really is exciting me is that last bit. It's a journey of self-discovery and redemption. It shows that they want to focus on the character of Sonic, and this is something that it needs to do. Now, you know, a video game's first priority should be have good gameplay with cool levels, fun bosses, you know, all that. But the thing that helped Sonic stand out, I feel, and the thing that drew me to Sonic over other brands like Mario, was that it took risks, was that it went for, you know, these storylines. And like I said, Black Knight explored Sonic's character perfectly. They showed us his morals, his ideals, his beliefs, in a setting where you could argue that maybe those morals, ideals, and beliefs, while, you know, good in concept, could potentially end up harming someone. But just because Sonic is a targeted kids platformer, it doesn't mean that it can't teach good things. Teaching people to live life to the fullest in the time they have was an excellent message for that game. And like I said before, the characters from Adventure through to Black Knight, there was more consistency. Because let me take one example out here, outside of Sonic for a second. Let's talk about some of the other characters just briefly. I'll get into a deeper video some other time where I really talk about how bad the writing was. But let's take Tails for example. Tails, in Adventure, Tails' character arc in the original Adventure was that he grew to be his own person. He stopped being in the shadow of Sonic and stopped trying to be like Sonic because he realized that, that's not him. He realized that he had to be himself, and so he stood up for himself. He started fighting for himself without, Sonic's help. And, that culminated in him, eventually saving Station Square and being reveled as a hero. And that character consistency was kept in Sonic Adventure 2, where even in the scene where Sonic supposedly dies and Sonic, leaves the rest in Tails' hand, Tails just doesn't, stand near a window and cry like Amy or anything. He sees the situation at hand, assesses it, and goes, this is what Sonic wanted me to do, so I'm gonna do it. It was a great consistency for his character. Flash forward to Sonic Forces in 2017, and we have Tails who just stands still, does nothing while Sonic is getting his ass handed to him in a fight with Infinite. And then when Chaos Zero is approaching him, and keep in mind Chaos Zero is walking up to him, instead of fighting Chaos Zero, he just bends over and presents his ass cheeks to him because why not? But here's the funny thing, it's not like Chaos Zero is a threat because Tails already beat Chaos version 4 in Adventure 1 all those years ago. Now, the whole Tails being a coward thing didn't really start with these two writers. It started from Unleashed. Unleashed, Tails sort of took a backseat, but that was to promote the relationship between Chip and Sonic. But from Colors onwards, I swear it was amplified. I stopped seeing Tails as this cool character who stood up for himself, and I started seeing him as just this wimp. This guy who would just stand there and do nothing. And there's so many other characters that were harmed by this poor writing. And I don't want to get into too much depth, but like I said before, Shadow. Shadow used to be this awesome character. And, his backstory, outside of all the fluff being added in the Shadow the Hedgehog game, was great, and his character consistency was great. Especially in 06. That final cutscene in 06 of Shadow's story was incredible. It's one of my favorite cutscenes in gaming history.
It's futile. The world will betray you. Why fight at all? Why risk your life for those who will persecute you later?
If the world chooses to become my enemy, I will fight like I always have.
So, what do? They just take it and then they make him this edgelord. Shadow's never been the friendliest of people, outside of being friends with Rouge and Omega, but he was never so closed off and distant from everyone past Adventure 2. He would talk, and he wasn't super edgelordy, but he did have a small amount of distance with people. But here it's amplified, so much so that the Sonic Boom series actually made Shadow a villain instead of just an anti-hero. So many people make jokes that, oh, Sonic is just Dragon Ball, yada yada yada. And they kept saying that Shadow is just Vegeta, but that was never the case. From Adventure 2 through to 06, Shadow was nothing like Vegeta other than just being a counterpart to Sonic. But from 2010 onwards, the Shadow that we got, yeah, that's basically Vegeta. He just walks around being angry at all times. His character doesn't feel redeemable, because Shadow the Hedgehog would never just put whole towns at risks and stuff. But in the comics, Shadow's like, this town can get destroyed, I don't care, as long as I get this one guy. It fails at that character consistency. Let me get back to the point of the video, because I feel like I went off way of a tangent there. There's so much I want to talk about why the writing is so horrible. Because they didn't just mess up 1, 2, or 3 characters, they messed up pretty much all the characters. But in terms of Sonic Prime, we also got some news that Tails' voice actor and Amy's voice actor will not feature in Prime, which is interesting to me because does that mean that they're not going to feature in the upcoming game? Does that mean that Tails' voice actor is not going to feature in the movie, even though Tails' voice actor did appear at the end of the first Sonic movie? That's stuff that hasn't been confirmed, and like I said, I don't like to talk too much about rumors or leaks because that's not official and it doesn't give me credibility. But I want to go back to the main point of me talking about why this is a new era of Sonic the Hedgehog, why this new era is coming. The main reason why I'm saying a new era is coming is because we're seeing these huge changes that we haven't seen since 2010. These huge changes that we haven't seen since 2005. The way I like to see modern Sonic is I split it up into 3 distinct eras. The first era was between Adventure 1 and Heroes, and you had, the original voice cast of Ryan Drummond and all that. Then they completely changed the voice cast and the tone of the series. Well, not completely changed the tone of the series, but it was slightly made a bit darker, I feel, when 2005 Shadow the Hedgehog came around, and then you had all the other voice actors take over, like Jason Griffith and all that. Then in 2010 we got the next big change. There was new writers and a whole new set of voice actors, that being when Roger Craig Smith took over for Sonic. So then this 4th era that I'm saying is coming, and the main reason why I'm saying it's coming is because these changes are being seen. We're seeing a repeat of those changes. We're seeing new voice actors. We're seeing, new writers. We're seeing a new tone for the franchise and a possible return to the adventure formula. And I think that's the main reason why I'm saying that there is a new era of Sonic the Hedgehog coming. There's a lot of news that I didn't talk about in this, but I either completely forgot to or didn't think it was relevant to this whole new era thing. But yeah, I don't want to drag this out for too long. I'll have plenty more videos talking about upcoming news and all that. So yeah, don't forget to like and subscribe, and until next time.